Get ghost. You're too available. Like, you're too dependable. Everybody knows they can count on you. Everybody in your house knows they can count on you. They know where to find you. They know you're going to do everything that you need to do and some. And it just may be time to shake that up. I really feel like if a person is easily accessible, always dependable, it leads or could lead to a lack of desire for said person, because you know what you're gonna get.
This is Ceasear Walker, the cool, calm, collected one.
And I'm Ronnie Gatrey, the emotional one.
And we are the Tipping Point Podcast, your source for the Black male's perspective.
Tipping Point Podcast.
I gotta tell y'all something that happened recently. I kind of went through like a very low moment, and I'm gonna be open with this. So I was taking my boys to school one morning, and I was talking to my 9-year-old, and I gave him an opportunity, and I said, "Hey son, I can pick y'all up from carpool today and take y'all to Dave & Buster's, take y'all to get ice cream like I randomly do at least once a month." And so he then quickly asked, "Well, can mommy pick me up instead?" "Sure, son, but she's going to pick you up at aftercare a lot later." He said, "Okay, well, I'll wait." And I was like, okay. And so I asked my youngest son, and he echoes the sentiments of his older brother. So I'm just like, okay, this doesn't feel good, but if you want a kid to be honest, they're going to be honest. So in that moment, I had like these weird dad vibes and not really feeling needed, appreciated, sometimes even not feeling loved. So I wallowed in that, and it was some downtime. I'm not gonna lie about it. Like it was rough for me. I had a big mind game going on. So fast forward to the week after that. This is going back, y'all. So just try to follow me here. Talking to my wife about a potential date night, and I'm getting all excited about it. And I noticed like she wasn't necessarily getting as excited as I was getting about the potential. And so I mentioned a restaurant, Helen, which they don't sponsor us, but I think Helen's hard to beat. I think that's a great restaurant. And so kind of like haphazardly, she's just like, "Yeah, it's just food, it's just dinner." I'm just like, wow. So those feelings resurged from that incident I had with my boys, but now they're spilling over to husband zone, right? Or husband compartment. So I'm just like, man, is it me? And so I took these concerns to my regularly scheduled therapy session and just put it all out on the table. Even got emotional. I did. But I was in my feels, like Walker. Like I was like really in my feels with a courtside seat. And my therapist gave me 2 words in terms of things I should consider. Get ghost. And so of course I'm like, what does that mean? And she's like, "You're too available. Like you're too dependable. Everybody knows they can count on you. Everybody in your house knows they can count on you. They know where to find you. They know you're going to do everything that you need to do and some. And it just may be time to shake that up." And so I proceeded to tell her how full of crap she was in a nice way, in a professional way.
But you always sit up with your therapist.
Say what?
Don't you always sit up with your therapist? You never, you doubt everything they tell you.
Usually the first time it's gonna, and she telegraphed it because she knew like you're not gonna be with this, right? And so she was right. So I, just casually dismissed it or whatever, and we worked on some other things. But I took it back and I thought about it, and I was like, okay, I'm very available. What does me getting ghost look like? And so I reverted back to some of the events that happened this year, to where I was ghost for extended periods of time. And I evaluated how I was received after going ghost, or getting ghost, as she said. And it was just like, I remember that season of my life, coming back from it, it was like, I really felt like these folks really missed me. Everybody, my boys and my wife. So I was like, man, she may be on to something. So it led me to develop this thought that I want to bring to y'all. And I'm not saying I subscribe to it, but I just want to put it on the table and let's talk about it. But I really feel like, just in general, if a person is easily accessible, always dependable, it leads or could lead to a lack of desire for said person, because you know what you're going to get. You know what you're going to get. You know, like, Walker, I know you love the thin Oreos at Publix. And it's like you don't even really appreciate them the way you should, because you know you can walk down that aisle and just grab them. Yeah, you know, when you eat them, they taste good, but it's just like, man, imagine them being hard to get, like bread 11s. When you get them, you cherish them, right? Cherish them, excuse me. Because you can't just roll out of bed and reasonably get bread 11s.
Sure.
So I want to put that there, and I'll tell you what happened after that. But we're gonna pause right here with that on the table. What do you guys think?
I mean, I'm reminded of something that I've heard my pastor Mike Moore, say that familiarity has a way of breeding discontent for a thing. And it's kind of the pros and cons of being consistent. You just come to expect it, and the significance of it almost kind of is not as appreciated as it perhaps should be. And I think that's probably what you're experiencing, because I know your love language is words of affirmation.
Yes.
So being affirmed,
physical touch as well.
But in the context of this conversation, being affirmed is really important.
100%.
Right? So when you do what you do throughout the course of a day, week, whatnot, and you don't feel as though you're getting the appreciation or the affirmation that you need based off what you do, I can see how you can end up feeling that way. I can understand that.
Yeah.
And I think oftentimes we tend to do that with things that we can count on to always be there, right? I was going to ask, for the most part, when it comes to your kids, who's picking them up? You?
Me. Yeah, I'm dropping off and picking them up more times than not.
Gotcha.
And just to add to that context, like, I've talked on here before about, like, my wife's profession is very demanding. Mm-hmm. So in thinking of it from a parental aspect, and you and I talked about this, I feel like kids desire the parent who is there the least, or least readily available, which in our case is my wife. Now, it doesn't mean she's not involved. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying she's a deadbeat. But what I am saying is, yeah, my boys, they would jump at the opportunity to have their mom pick them up just to drive them 3 miles down the road. They'd rather give up Dave and Buster's with daddy to have that, because that's time with mom.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you understand that, but yet you still felt slighted. Yeah.
And just because I understand it doesn't mean that I agree with it. Fair?
Just because you understand that that's how it is doesn't mean you don't agree. Doesn't mean that you don't agree with it, or
doesn't mean that I agree.
It doesn't mean that your feelings change.
Right. Like, it's a grim reality, but it doesn't mean I'm out here like caping for it.
Okay.
Because I mean, y'all know I take my responsibilities very seriously in terms of being a present, committed, devoted husband and father.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And most times I strive for it to be in that order. So, like, I do know, and I also do understand the long game. And I know all these little deposits I'm making now are going to mean more in the future. But right now, yeah, they kind of sting.
I got you. Blaque, any thoughts about this?
It's funny when he was speaking about it in the beginning, it's like the first thing that popped in my mind was everything you said about Mother's Day versus Father's Day. I'm like, you're experiencing it in your regular day life. How Father's Day is like a secondhand thought for most people, and that's how you're being treated, kind of. But you should expect it though.
Well, I think he's getting it on the worst end because I don't think you're not experiencing anything that the primary parent doesn't experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So usually it's the moms that feel that way at times.
Right.
But there's a holiday where they get all that back.
Right.
Right? In your case, that's why I say you're getting it double because you're the primary parent, but there's no day to make that all up.
Right.
And so you can kind of feel like, dang, like I don't really feel appreciated or valued.
Right.
Like I should be. Is that fair?
That's very fair. Yeah.
Would you like to keep going?
Yeah. So what do y'all think about this get ghost narrative? What do you think about this like intentionality behind making yourself not available? When you asked me, because we talked about this prior to this recording, you kind of gave me kind of the synopsis, what you just gave. And I definitely had questions about it. And I figured, hey, we're going to talk about this on the pod. I'll wait. Yeah, we were supposed to talk about this at a later date. If you know, you know.
Yeah, pretty much. You had to be there, y'all. But I guess I don't know practically how does a parent, the primary parent, get ghost in a way that's not counterproductive and in a way that actually gets your point across to your kids and to your spouse? Well,
and that's a good question. Like, I think about the experience I had the first quarter of this year. Something I wanted to do. It's something that required me to get ghost, but it was more like of a planned thing. Like we knew there was going to be a period of time to where I would be ghost. Mm-hmm. And so like, I wasn't doing that anticipating what comes after that. Mm-hmm. It was just something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I had the opportunity. It took a lot of time, took me away from the house a lot, whatever. Right. That the essence of that I think is okay. But man, what I can't seem to subscribe to is like intentionally trying to do that.
Right.
And that's what my breakdown is.
Well, I guess, and Blaque, I want your opinion on this. Do you think she literally, in a literal sense, meant get ghost, or is she saying make time for yourself?
Are those synonymous?
Apart from, no, because when you think about the term ghost, what does that imply?
That means I'm out.
But usually it's unannounced.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not, giving your therapist, shooting her some bail here. I don't think she meant get ghost as in one day everyone wakes up and is like, hey, where's Gatrey?
Right. No. There was
right?
context to that. And I even took it in the sense of like, dude, you got to get a life.
Okay.
I kind of took it with that type of energy.
That's what I'm saying. So make time for you, which an argument can be made. You're kind of been doing that this year.
I've been doing me a lot.
Okay. So in doing that, hasn't that served as an example of you doing some things for Gatrey that benefits Gatrey?
Yeah.
Okay. You've been doing quite a bit of that, right?
This year, yeah.
Okay. So what do you do when those feelings come up?
I get in the fetal position like everybody else does.
But I guess what I'm saying is if you're going to, let's say you're going to follow through on that advice and you're going to execute that in a very practical way, right? Hey, I'm going to take some time, go do something I enjoy with some of the homeboys or whatever.
Yeah.
And you come back, you feel refreshed, that everyone misses you, everyone, but then you get into the regular everyday grind. And then something triggers you to bring those feelings back. What are you going to do then? You need to get ghost again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I got to deal with them, and
You understand what I'm getting at, though, right?
yeah, I think flesh that out a little bit for me, though. Just so
can you practically get ghost every time those feelings come up?
No, not realistically.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with you taking time for yourself to do some things for Gatrey.
Okay.
Because as a devoted husband and father in your family dynamic, you do a lot of things that benefit others.
100%.
So there should be an opportunity for you to go and recharge yourself.
Yeah.
To continue doing what you need to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So even if you feel charged or recharged or rejuvenated from doing those things, those activities, right? And your family still may not appreciate you the way that you think they should, what does Gatrey do then?
Talk about it. It's the first thing.
Okay.
Be present in those feelings and emotions and be able to communicate them. And just move on.
Well,
because think about it, like the reality is I can't just snap and be ghost. Not in the carpool line. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I guess I got to lean into that understanding again that we talked about at the top of this discussion. That understanding of like, my boys aren't going to want me. They're always going to desire their mother. Always.
Well, I mean,
and then switching over to the husband compartment, like, gosh, I just had 2 weeks with my wife overseas. And so like I gotta like be real about that and be like, okay, well, yeah, you want to take her to Helen. If she's not showing that she's into that, okay, that's another issue. I can't control that. But even if she doesn't want to go, like even that's okay. Just had 2 weeks with her.
Yeah. Well, you had any thoughts, Blaque?
I mean, by what he was saying now, I mean, you got to understand your wife. Like, certain things just don't get her excited the way you get excited about things.
True. And that's fair. And I think that's an important element of leaning into that understanding. And just like telling myself and believing that, hey, it's okay.
And also, I think you could probably just start off by just adding things to your schedule gradually. Because it seemed like you already had a soft start with what you did like back earlier this year. Like you were away. So just like find ways, maybe like after work, go to a happy hour or something like that before you go home. Little things like that. Go to
that could be problematic, but keep going.
Go to a UAB basketball game.
Pick something else.
He acts like he never attended school. I don't.
I mean,
he's been doing that since he graduated.
I do enjoy UAB basketball. I'm captain.
Yeah, when they play North Carolina.
You encouraged him to do that.
Okay.
You encouraged him to do that.
I'll accept that.
Okay.
Am I going the right direction?
What does Gatrey want ultimately?
Man, I do. Great question. But what I want is kind of what you said. Like, as a father, I want to be desired by my boys.
Okay.
I want them to choose Dave and Buster's with dad over a 3-minute drive with mom.
Well, let me ask you this: haven't you been doing that with them?
Yeah, but the thing before is I've never asked them.
Oh, you just took them?
Yeah. I'll show up at school if I got time. I'll just show up at the school. I'm in carpool. Hey guys, guess where we're going?
So does it matter if you ask them or you just take them?
Yeah, because like
you're still spending time with them.
Yeah, and I know they're kids. They're 9 and 5, but there's still some value in knowing what their desires are.
Well, I don't think that. Again, I don't think that I'm not sure if you're being fair to yourself in that regard. Because It's okay for them to miss their mom if they're not seeing her a lot. Do you agree with that? No?
King Petty.
At least you're being honest. At least you're being honest. Can they be honest with? And this is another thing. Can they be honest with you about what their desires are?
Yeah, I gave them that freedom. It doesn't mean I have to like it.
Well,
But
clearly you didn't.
I didn't. But I didn't bash them. I didn't ridicule them.
I'm not saying you do that.
I accepted what they said, and I had to deal with it. It didn't feel good.
I get that.
But let's go back to your question, because I'm about to go somewhere else.
But think about it. Think about it. They could have said, no, I'd rather go home and do homework. Now, that probably would have stung. But they wanted to see someone who's just as important in their lives that they don't get to see.
Who's more important? If we're going to be real on here, let's continue with real.
Why do you think she's more important?
Because, was that not enough?
Why do you think?
I know where you're going, Walker.
Why do you think she's
because they don't
more
see her
important?
that often.
But does that mean she's more important?
Yeah? I don't know what else it can mean.
Gatrey, I got one question for you. Growing up, were you a mama's boy?
Yeah. Is that showing right now? Oh, am I about to eat my...
No, keep going, Blaque. Keep going. Keep going with this. No, keep going.
No, you were a
gotta
mama's
lead
boy,
them to
right?
It's not even growing up. I still am.
Okay. So if your dad would have asked you the same thing, where would you have gone? What choice would you have made?
If he'd have asked me to go to Diamond Gyms, I'm taking y'all back, Century Plaza. If you know, you know. If he'd asked me to go to Diamond Gyms, I'm going to Diamond Gyms. I'm playing Street Fighter till my fingertips fall off.
With him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did y'all ever go to Diamond Gyms or Aladdin's Castle?
I remember those
Am I showing
places.
my age here?
Yes.
If I went there, it was with my friends, not my father.
But yes, I'm sure my boys would rather go with their friends too.
You
But
was more excited about Street Fighter than Dad, though.
Yeah, it's because it's Diamond Gyms.
Okay. Right. So your connection to the event has nothing to do with your dad. He's just
the
conduit.
Yeah. He's pretty much. He's the Uber driver.
But because I know how I was, especially at 9 years old, because I was obsessed with the arcade.
I mean, yeah.
But knowing how
Sidebar. Can you believe our parents used to leave us there while they went and shopped?
Oh,
Can you
God.
imagine doing that in 2022?
The 90s were a safer time.
Hey, my mom can leave me in the car.
That part too.
You survived.
Even in the
right.
crack the car, crack the window. Go ahead.
But no, I would have taken the Diamond Gyms option.
But who picks you up from school? Who picked you up from school?
Nobody. We were on the bus. We were real kids. But we're staying in context of the comparison, right? We're putting me in a similar situation. Yeah. So wait. Dad, you're gonna pick me up and take me to Diamond Gyms, and what's my other option? Mommy pick me up late, and you take me to the house. I ain't got Street Fighter at the house.
So in your mind, why do you consider yourself a mother's boy?
Oh, because dude, it's mom.
Exactly.
What does that have to do with anything?
They're gonna naturally cling to their mother.
I don't care about any of that. Even if it is true, it means nothing to me.
Now that we have everything out in the open, okay.
And that's why I'm saying the connection they have to her is different from the connection they have with you. Because it's different doesn't necessarily make it more important or that she's more important to them. It's just different. And when they don't have an opportunity to connect with their mom, they're going to yearn for that. It doesn't make you any more or less significant to them, but they see you all the time. And it's something that they've done with you before. But obviously, this is the real conversation, in my opinion, is maybe wifey may need to pick them up from school one day or make time to do that.
Well, and I want to be clear. I'm not saying she doesn't.
Okay.
Just not as often as I do.
So she get ghost.
But clearly, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
That was a really good one. So That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And it's enough for them. Obviously, it's been on their mind, right?
Right.
For them to even mention that. But I don't think it negates what you've done for them and who you are to them. I really don't think so.
Being a bit sensitive.
Well, yeah. I mean, I thought I prefaced that I was very sensitive in processing this, but I just wanted to bring it here just because my biggest thing was like, I really want to see if we're going to dispel this notion or not. Because I haven't really decided if I'm going to give it legs or not.
Man,
in terms of getting ghost.
Yeah.
But how would you do that? How would you execute that?
I may record a podcast on a Friday night with some buddies. I may if I'm feeling really crazy.
That's not out of the ordinary though. They used to that.
But it is an example.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's a getting ghost example. So that's one in that category.
Okay, so when you come home from recording,
mostly everybody in my house is asleep.
Okay.
And you wish you were too, right?
No, dude, I enjoy this.
Oh. We don't keep you up past your bedtime?
You do, but it's different. Like this is something I'm into, so I can do it past my bedtime.
I guess my point is, what do you want them to get from this?
Who?
Your parent, your family.
Oh,
your wife, children.
I don't think it's about what I want. I really don't. Because like that's you're getting into that realm of I can't control that. So I can.
Well, I'm not asking what you can control, because obviously this started from something not going, an unrealized expectation.
Right.
This whole thing started with that. You had an expectation.
Right.
So I'm not even saying if it's realistic. What does Gatrey want his family to get?
If I could desire it,
yeah,
I want my kids to say, "Oh, Dad, dude, we love it when you take us to." I forgot the name of the place. I was about to say Trader Joe's.
Dave and Buster's.
Dave and Buster's.
That's what Dad likes to go.
Gosh, 40s.
Right, sure, that's your Dave and Buster's.
40's really dealing with me right now. But no, I want to say, I want that question to go like, oh, Dad, we can't wait to go to Dave and Buster's. Yeah. And I don't care. I don't care if it's just the essence of Dave and Buster's. Mm-hmm. I don't care about any of that. But I just think that should incite more excitement than, oh no, we'd rather table all that, stay at school 2 more hours just to have an opportunity to ride 3 minutes with Mom.
So let me ask you this.
To the house, not even to Dave and Buster's.
So let me ask you this. If it was any other time other than picking them up from school, do you think they would have jumped at the opportunity? I'm going to take you on a Saturday. I'm going to take you on this day. Instead of picking you up after school. In other words, I'm not putting you in a situation where you got to choose. Hey kids, how do you think about going to Dave and Buster's on Saturday?
It's so out of the ordinary for us.
What is something that they like to do? Like, what if they want to go shoot basketball with Dad or something like that? Would they jump at the opportunity to go to a park or something like that?
I do, but if it's not on the forefront, at some point they're gonna ask, "Where's Mommy?" Inevitable. It's inevitable. And I'm not mad at that. Like, yeah, okay, I guess you can like your mom or love your mom. But what was the question again?
I was trying to find a suitable substitute for Dave and Buster, something that they would, like the way you felt about what Diamond Gyms, whatever.
Yeah.
What is their Diamond Gyms? Because it's obviously not Dave and Buster's.
Oh, the trampoline park.
Okay. Well, if you say trampoline park next time.
I've done that too.
And they say, nah, we're waiting on Mom.
Oh, no. I'll be real. I haven't asked like I did with Dave and Buster's.
Try trampoline park next time and see what happens.
Okay. Stay tuned.
Okay.
If they're still missing her, they're going to want to see her, bro.
I'm just trying to get him the reaction that he wants a reaction.
I don't disagree with that. Like, as hard as that is to admit, you're right.
Okay.
And I mean,
so
they grew inside of her.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure you know that.
Yes.
That they bond. They already have a certain type of bond that you know.
Right.
Okay.
But naturally, someone who's as bought in to being a present, active, loving father, you wanna at least get some real estate with them too, right?
I think you're doing that.
You're just not reaping it now. You're gonna reap it later.
Right. And I said that, like, I know it's a long game thing, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's frustrating right
Like
now.
when they start to become men.
Nah, it's too late then.
Man, he back to being King Petty again.
Y'all remember Dave and Buster's?
He got ghosts.
Back in 2022?
He got ghosts. He got ghosts. That's when he got ghosts.
Go find your mama.
Keep Your Point Podcast.